Welcome to another edition of Ask the OG. I have to say, all of my questions keep coming back to where's the stock market going to go? Where's Bitcoin going to go? Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. Nobody knows. Nobody can predict the future. You don't know. Markets always trick you. That's one thing you can be certain of. The market will trick you. And the only way to be a market participant is to think long term. If you think short term, you're going to lose, and you're going to lose big. You have to think about the markets the way the world's best and historically the best investor who's ever operated, Warren Buffett, and how he approaches markets. And you know what he says his best holding period is? Forever. Meaning he doesn't buy an asset unless he thinks it's worth holding it forever. And that's how you have to think. Because let me tell you this, volatility, ups and downs, are the only thing you can bet on is a certainty. The markets are going to go up and they're going to go down. Your job is to try and understand what is the real trend. What trend is in place? It's very hard to do. And if you can do it, you can make a lot of money. So let's look at the trends. Volatility, meaning changes in market prices, have been very, very sharp. Just going back 3 weeks, April 9th, Bitcoin was 74,000. Today it's 94,000. That's a big move. But guess what? It can move right back down, and it can make new lows, and it can make new highs. I can't really tell you, but the one thing I am pretty confident about is that Bitcoin is considered a risk asset. It's not really a store of value yet. Bitcoin has only been around 15 years. I can't really consider it a store of value. I believe in Bitcoin. I believe in a decentralized digital asset that has immutable records. I mean, there are so many wonderful things about Bitcoin, but you can't be 100% sure it's a real store of value. Compare it to gold. Gold has been a store of value for 5,000 years, not 15 years, 5,000 years. And gold has been slowly and steadily moving up. That trend is clearly in place, that gold is moving up in value, in dollar value, which really only means fiat currency is going down. Gold doesn't appreciate. Gold doesn't have cash flow. It doesn't do anything except sit there. But fiat currencies that governments continue to create and print and abuse and spend money like they're totally irresponsible, and then they print money and they issue debt, and it's just a whole Ponzi scheme. Gold is just a mirror up to fiat currency to say, hey, look at you guys, you're being irresponsible. Now, Bitcoin doesn't quite have that role yet. I'm not willing to say it's a real store of value, although that is what Michael Saylor says, the CEO of MicroStrategy, who says Bitcoin's going to be 10 million a coin or 1 billion a coin, which, to be honest with you, makes me very nervous when I hear somebody talk like that, especially the CEO of a public company who has bet his whole company on the price of Bitcoin. It doesn't make me confident, but that's here nor there. Events will play out. But one thing is for certain, Bitcoin is correlated to tech stocks. Very correlated. When tech stocks go up, Bitcoin goes up. When tech stocks go down, Bitcoin goes down. Now, that correlation isn't 100%, but it's 90%, and it's certainly been close over the last 6 months. So if you want to look at Bitcoin prices, let's look at big tech. I hate to say it, but tariffs, war, geopolitically instability leads to volatility. A lot of money in the US stock market comes from abroad. It comes from Europe. It comes from Canada. It comes from China. And these relationships with the US are on rocky ground right now. No, it's unstable. It's uncertain. If those huge pools of capital start to pull their money out of the US stock market, it's going to be very bumpy. There's all kinds of things that lead to stock prices, the growth of the economy, interest rates. It's so hard to compute. But overall, markets are still at a very, 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 very high price. And the natural trend would be for them to go down. Now, that doesn't mean they are going to go down. I don't have a crystal ball. I can only just take inputs that I'm aware of, but there are an infinite number of inputs and nobody can be aware of them. So that's why I say if you make an investment, make it for the very long term because you believe in it and you're not watching the price day to day or week to week. Because if you do that, you're going to be pushed out at the low, you're going to sell at the bottom and buy at the top, which is exactly the wrong thing to do. You want to buy little by little over time with a holding period. I'm holding on to this thing forever. That's what great investors like Warren Buffett do. They don't try and time the market because timing the market is only a loser's game. And that is one thing I can tell you. You could put that in the bank. Timing the market is a certainty to lose money. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you on Thursday.